Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to help you on with the properties of indices. Alright, so what exactly is an index stand for? So if you have x cube, it is nothing but x multiplied 3 times. If you have x to the power 4, it is multiplied 4 times, and so on. Now the first property that is assessed in CI examinations is x to the power m times x to the power n, which is x to the power m plus n. So logic is that if you're multiplying x 3 times here and here x 5 times, total number of power is going to become x to the power 8 because you're multiplying overall 8 times. Second example is when you consider that it's y cube times x cube. Can you multiply with this property? No, because they're two different quantities. So you can't help with it, like you can't simplify this using this example, similar property. Now when you have two numbers with the same base, like multiplying xm times and here you're multiplying n times, the resulting is going to be m minus n. So it's going to be x to the power m minus n, because logically, for example, if you take x to the power 10 upon x square, it is nothing but x to the power 10. You're multiplying 10 times, here you're multiplying 2 times, so 10 times here and 2 times here, so that's going to be like 8 times remaining. So that's why you can see x to the power, you have 8 times remaining out here as the answer. This is valid for even negative indices, so x to the power 2 over x to the power negative 3. So if you do m is this and n is negative 3, so x to the power m over x to the power n is gonna be x to the power m minus n. N is negative 3 already. So students, the moment they say negative power, they freak out. Just be careful about that, guys. It's really stupid. X to the power 2 plus 3, which is x to the power 5, which is out here. Now the next property that we have is understanding that if you are multiplying numbers the same base power, the power belongs to both the numbers. So for example, if you x to the power m, y to the power m is x to the power m times x to the y to the power m. A simple example that I'm going to give you is 2x to the power 4, which is going to be 2 to the power 4 times x to the power 4, which is 16 times x to the power 4, which is quite valid. Now if you consider that, let's say here I'm taking, let's say maybe example 7 times x the whole square. It's gonna be 7 square times x square, which is gonna be 49 times x squared. So that this is gonna be your answer. All right. Now the next one is very important property, that is x to the power a to the power b is gonna be x to the power ab. Have a look at this one. Now x squared to the power 3. Now students sometimes add up the power. No, that's incorrect. So what you're gonna do is, if you take this kind of property, you're gonna do x to the power 6, because 2 times 3 is x to the power 6. So remember this property. If you're raising a number already raised to a certain power, you're gonna get, just multiply the powers. Here is a simple example, another example. If you have 16x to the power 4 times 2, first of all, with this property, this power belongs to both the numbers, so it's going to be 16 square times x to the power 4 square. Now if it is 16 square, it's going to be 256 times x to the power 8. Alright, so this is really important property. So this property, this property, this property, this property, these are really important properties for your CI examinations. Okay, now let us try to understand what do the square roots, cube roots mean to us. So when you say square root, it's nothing but to the power half. All right, so that's why when you have 49 square root, I do that 7 square, and if you take the half of this power, it's gonna be half of this power is gonna be 2 times this, it's gonna be 7 itself. That's how you get the square root of 49 as 7. Now let us say if you have mth root of any value x, that can be simply written as x to the power 1 by m. For example, if you have 10th root of x, I can write on x to the power 10. Alright, so I'm going to just kind of give quickly 1 or 2 examples. Let us say, what does it mean? So if you have x to the power, let's say 7 here, it means x to the power 1 by 7. I can write on that, and that's really helpful property to understand few of the questions really. This and the next one properties are really important. The property is like if you have anything upon certain a to the power m, I can do that a to the power negative m. Okay, so for example, if you're 1 over x square, I can write on x to the power negative 2. Okay, so for example, if you have 1/3 of x to the power 4, I could write this as 1/3 times x to the power negative 4, because 1/3 is number which is not going to change, but I can take up x to the power negative 4. Now the reverse is also true. If you have a negative indices and if you take it up in the numerator, it's going to become positive index. So for example, if you have 1 upon x to the power negative 2, it's going to become x squared. Okay, so for example, if you have 1 upon 3 x to the power negative 4, I could have written as x to the power 4 upon 3. Alright, this is really important property. Okay, now coming back to the final property, what do you mean by x to the power m by n? It simply means that you take, boss, you raise x to the power m, I'm raising x to the power m, and take the nth root of that. As simple as that. Now take for example 49 to the power 3 by 2. What I can do is I can take square root first, because to the power half, if you notice out here, is nothing but square root. So it's going to be 49 to the power half, which is going to be 49 square root, which is 7, and then you can cube it, which is 343. Alright, most of the time you can use calculator for such questions. That's much more comfortable for your extended mathematics, but for international math you have to be very careful about such calculation, because they really put a lot of emphasis on these kind of questions. Now what you do is, if you're clear with the properties, go to the practice video, which is next one, or if you're not clear, go through these properties and be ready for the practice video, which is next one. Hope this helped you understand the properties better.